It's thinking, it's doing something.
Oh yeah, we should have your channel on too so we can see it. Make sure it's live. I'm sending her the link now. We are live.
We are live. And
We
so
Hello.
there's a big delay.
Oh yeah, I think it's always gonna be delayed.
Okay.
Yeah, so we can. I don't see it on YouTube yet, do you? I mean, but it's recording, so all of this will be on YouTube. Do you want to start or?
It says that it started, the streaming started. So.
Oh yeah,
we'll
we're on. I can see it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to just start again? We can just end it, delete this, and then start again. And that way, when we start, we can just like do it right away, like get into it. So if you just stop. You gave me the wrong number for Chrissy, by the way.
Okay, there's like a super delay. Should I stop?
Yeah, just stop. It's going to be delayed. That's just how it is. Oh, you're delayed from me? Like you can't hear me automatically?
Zainab?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
So what's the delay? What are you talking about? Can you stop the live?
Hi, Star Bell. Somebody is on here. Somebody came on.
Yeah, okay, let's just start. We're fine. Let's go.
Like after I speak, then there is, yeah, after I speak, then take about, okay.
All right, yeah, so we're just waiting for people to join. And then do you want to, are you waiting for Chrissy?
I'm gonna text it to her.
But yeah, let's see. We have 4 people watching right now. Thanks, you guys. You got a hi, Dr. D from Star Bell, unless you already said that and I missed it.
Thank you all.
Is my internet connection fine? I've been having like a lot of internet issues.
I sent it to Chrissy.
Okay, is my internet connection fine? Like you can see my video and stuff fine?
So, you know what's happening? Because I was watching it on YouTube.
I'm gonna take that as a no.
I can see you, now you're paused. Hi, guys. We're just trying to work out some technical issues. We'll be right there, you know, with anything technical, but I promise you it'll be well worth it.
Denise, can you hear me?
I can, Chrissy.
Can you hear
Hi.
me?
Zainab? I got you, Chrissy.
All right.
I can hear you. Yeah. Hope everybody is doing well out there.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Oh, I can hear you. I can see you too.
Okay, great. Are you host, Chrissy?
Yeah, I'm on here for to be asked some questions later.
Okay, okay.
All right, Zainab.
Hey. Are you ready? Can you hear me?
Go ahead.
Okay. So yeah, do you want to go ahead and start the conversation?
You can start with the introduction, Zainab.
Okay, cool. Do you mind just like minusing the, never mind. On your screen. Okay, we got it. Sorry, I was having, but yeah, you guys, welcome to Medics for the Movement. I'm Zainab Baloch, and I am very pleased and honored here today to be able to have this conversation that is so necessary right now, especially with, you know, everything going on, but also like trying to really process how we are here in this moment and are making sure that we're taking care of ourselves and others in our community, as well as being able to really share these experiences and find a space to really center and ground ourselves in what it looks like. How do you still take care of each other, etc. So I know Dr.D-Nice, we met through, I ran for office. And so while I was running for the campaign, one thing I really needed to work on was keeping myself well and like talking about self-care, you know, my exercise routine, my eating routine. And so long and behold, we got connected through, you know, my long-term personal trainer, and it was amazing. And I feel like I would not have been able to get through the campaigning. I ran for Raleigh mayor without Dr.D-Nice's like expertise, because it was like, I'm already a very like high ambitious woman, and to like find such value in both just having a personal relationship, but like that relationship of growing with like, what are my relationships with like food and exercise, and what are my relationships with like my mind and my body. And so I feel like I got to explore that much deeper, as well as within like a spiritual sense that I hadn't before. So I am really grateful here to be part of this conversation and alongside such an amazing and bright and joyful woman. So Dr.D-Nice, I will let you take it away.
Thank you for that introduction, Zainab. There's some strange delay thing. I can hear you like a minute after you say something, but we'll just carry on and just hope it all works out. That's technology. But one of the things So I want us to just start off this whole experience by just taking a deep breath in through your nose and out through your nose. In again. Bring your navel all the way in as if it's gonna press against your spine, and out. All right. Let's start. So the civil rights movement, it actually started in 1954. It started with the Brown versus Board of Education. And then it ended in 1968 after the Civil Rights Act of the Fair Housing Act was passed. That was 12 whole years of a whole movement, people out there protesting and petitioning their government to change this very unfair, unequal situation that Black people were living in. The March on Washington was August 28, 1963. And it wasn't until almost 12 months later that the Civil Rights Act was passed, actually in 1964. That ended the discrimination in the workplace. So what I'm trying to point out is that it takes time to really change law. It's not something that will happen overnight. And unfortunately, youth and adrenaline will only last so far. And right now we have a lot of young protesters there that are on the pavement, giving it all. We have seen some changes really from the extensive protesting that has been happening. And it's so amazing to see all this youth, all this energy really causing change in our country. And I wanted to come alongside our youth and really help support them with my information that I have on wellness and how to really support your body. Kind of like I did with Zainab, but really doing it in a broader community. There's a guy on YouTube, he had a quote that says, "There is no revolution of consciousness without a revolution of health." We've got to shore up our bodies and fortify our minds and strengthen our spirit for this journey ahead. And it really is a journey. And before we get into really asking, gaining, and learning a little bit about some of your experiences out there, I do want to give you all some simple tips that you could even use right now. You can leave this meeting with right now with some tips that you can use to improve your overall wellness. Zainab?
Yeah, sorry, you were also delayed. You said overall tips on how to improve
Did you hear that?
Wellness.
I'm gonna share my screen and yeah, and that's where I ended. I'm gonna pull up my screen here and let you all show you all this slide, and then we'll go through each of them a little. Okay.
So yeah, so I mean, just to kind of jump in there while you're getting the screen up. So in terms of wellness and like kind of like for on the ground, we've been really working and really like, especially since everything like started the first peaceful protest since May 30th, it's just been go, and it gets even tougher each day because you're trying to keep care of yourself, trying to emotionally process things, trying to be on the ground, but then also trying to strategize both politically and organizationally. So this time really calls for also like a higher mindset and for us to like continuously improve ourselves so that we can like live and adapt to this current environment and build that resilience. So that comes with like being okay that tomorrow like I'll try again and like showing myself a lot of grace and alongside having an amazing support system and like, you know, being okay with watching a random episode of Netflix, because usually I'm a person who doesn't watch any Netflix, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm wasting time. I have to like go listen and read and educate myself, etc. And then sometimes I'm like, I just need a mindless activity, putting my phone away and just not using my brain and just like enjoying myself in something mindless. So yeah, those are things that I've kind of really been working to enhance, etc. So, ooh, nice PowerPoint. Yeah.
Yeah, well, thank you for sharing that, Zainab. So what we're going to go into is Fount. Fount is the 5 keys to wellness and wisdom to help you unlock your best. And this is actually some principles or some keys that I developed in order to organize wellness information. And we'll start by just talking about making it specific to the program. And the F in Fount stands for fuel. Each of these keys actually have 3 parts to it, and we'll just go over one part for the sake of time. So the F in Fount is for fuel, and fueling your body with the best foods for this revolution. And it's important that you're going to make sure that you eat the right food. Like I said, there's no revolution of consciousness without revolution of health. We really need to make sure that our bodies are ready and fortified for this extremely long journey. We need to make sure that we're eating the right fruits and vegetables. And what I do for my family, what I think works really good, is just like making sure you have 2 fruits for breakfast, a fruit and a vegetable for lunch, vegetables for dinner. And that will be like a total of 6 servings that will actually even surpass recommended of 5 servings of fruits and vegetables a day. And the O in Fount for optimistic. This is where we talk about the mental aspect of wellness. And the 3 of the principles I talk about under this section: recognizing reality, making a positive move, and connecting with love. Really just going to stop at connecting with love and sit on this one for a little bit today. And what it is, we cannot ignore that as humans, there's a spiritual aspect to who we are. There's a spiritual part of it. And this, as we look at this, we know that some people call the spiritual being Allah, some people call him God, some people say it's higher power, the source, infinite intelligence. It goes by various names. I choose to say love right now. And we need to really connect with love as a source of infinite renewal, infinite power for our spirits this time. And I actually constructed what I thought is a beautiful prayer for a protest to say every morning to bring peace into your spirits as they go out in the day. Love, grant me mental clarity, physical strength, and the spiritual peace I need for this journey. And then the U in Fount is for understanding. The parts of understanding is really understanding your body, understanding how other people affect your health, and understand how laws can affect your health. And as we look out here, we understand that we see how the laws and society can really affect our health. When we look around at the inequality in healthcare, the healthcare disparities, some of the things that we're fighting for right now, we really understand how that laws and cultural norms and how it can affect the well-being of your bodies. And one of the things I'd like to understand, but it takes time to change laws, and it takes even longer to change a person's heart. Once again, I came up with another thing that I think would be great, is that I thought would be wonderful. It's a protester's mantra. It's a movement, not a moment. We all know that. I'm staying in it till it's finished. So making sure that you understand that the way government works, the way laws work, not something that happens very quickly. Yeah, we have seen some changes so far occur in our local government. We have, but some of the changes that we want, we need to understand that it's going to take a long time and have to be really committed to staying for the long haul. That's the U for understanding. And N is for natural. This is one of my favorite things, is that our bodies are a lot of water. We're very watery. Our brains, our lungs, our skin, our kidneys, our muscles, all the things that really make our body our body. There's a whole lot of water involved. And when you're out there protesting and marching, you have to remember that hydration is going to be super important. Something as simple as just having a reusable water bottle with you. I'm looking at the picture that Zainab has of two of the protesters in the front. They have water bottles with them. It's important that you make sure that you have some way to replenish yourself as you're out there, and a reusable water filled with water is going to be perfect to replenish some of the water that you're using while you're out there protesting and walking for hours on end. The T in front is for time. And I've spoken to a few protesters, and one of the things that they talk about is just how there is almost a pressure that you feel at the end of the day. And the important thing is when you get home from a long day of being out there protesting, it's important that you relax. And one thing that will work marvelously is a Epsom salt bath. It's high in magnesium, and magnesium is one of those chemicals that really relaxes your body. And a little touch that you can add to it is a cold shower after this bath. And I know you're maybe rolling your eyes and like, nah, I don't think so. Trust me on this one. Trust me on it. Take a cool shower after this bath, cold as you can understand. And believe me, it will just relax your body even more than the bath as well. And so those are the 5 keys to wellness and wisdom, specifically for the protesters, to just fortify your body. There's so much more that I can share with you on things that you can do. And right now, I just want to hear from you all some of the things that you're experiencing out there physically and mentally, so I could really understand what sort of education we need to provide for the protesters in order to make sure that your bodies are fortified for the long haul. Yeah, because what I also plan on doing is really offering up my Instagram page. I already do some wellness education on there. Every day I put some information out there on Instagram in the stories, really addressing some of the things the people that follow me want. And so I want to do was really around and really give more protesters specific wellness information. So I'd like to hear from you all. We know we have Justin on. I'm gonna remove my share. I'm gonna stop the share right now. And by the way, this handout that y'all are seeing, it actually is gonna be on the website. And actually, I'll put it back up on the end, wisdomteethinger.com and my Instagram. I'll put them all at the end so you all can see it and be able to find it. But I will have a free download of that specific handout that's just on the screen that anyone can pull up and pull down automatically. All right, so we're just gonna go into talking with Justin.
Can you see me?
Hey, Justin.
Hi, doctor.
How are you?
I'm good. Is the audio good? Can you hear me?
I can. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful. I was having a lot of delay in the background.
That's all right. Can Zainab, can you hear me?
Your YouTube
Yes, I can hear
volume.
you. I was gonna say, if you're having a lot of echo, it might be because your YouTube video volume is also on.
Okay, let me. Let me see if I could pull that off.
Thanks for joining at such a short notice, Justin. How was your day?
It was pretty chill today, you know. We didn't go out today. Um, it is Juneteenth weekend, of course, but you know, we just had to take a little break, you know, because sometimes you do just need a little pause, a little mental health day, a physical health day to just regroup, you know, because it's not a race. We're not
Yeah.
like rushing. It is a marathon, and we do need to take a break every now and then. But the movement still goes on, you know.
Wise words. It is a marathon and not a sprint. And that is something amazing to understand. And when you finally understand it, you realize how long-term this organizing is, but how impactful it can be. Have you been down there every day?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, pretty much every day. Ever since May 30th, you know, when it started. Um, that first day was beautiful, thousands of people out, you know. But as we've gone along, there's been less people, but there's been more organization, you know. There's the riots stopped. There's no looting. There's no violence, but there's more organization. There's clearer messages. We have policy demands. We have groups out here. We have just everybody's working together to get what we want. And it's just amazing how we've coalesced, you know? It's just amazing how as time has went on, the media hasn't been covering us, but we've just been getting better as a movement, you know? And we're
That's
just
really
out there
beautiful.
every day.
Yeah, that's really good. I actually have seen it myself, just hearing, because I follow quite a few people, and it's just really obvious that things are just gelling and coming together. And I really feel that's when we're going to see a lot of traction.
Yeah.
So Justin, one of the reasons that we invited you, just you're a young man that is out there. First, let me just ask what made you feel like you had to be out there to experience this, to be a part of this?
Well, you know, we all heard the news on, I think it was May 25th or just that week about George Floyd and how brazenly, you know, just how brazen his murder was. And, you know, we all knew that we wanted justice for him. And we all were like just tired of these things keep happening and keeps happening and nothing really keeps changing. And I just when I got the news on some anonymous screenshot about a protest happening, and I said, you know what, I'm just gonna go, you know. I knew that we had a pandemic. Of course, I wore my mask, and I knew that it's dangerous to do these things somewhat. But I just know that my own personal safety pales in comparison to the future safety of all of our Black people in the streets that could be the next George Floyd, you know, that could be the next Tamir Rice, the next Keith Collins, or the next Hilma Gerard, or the next Akiel Denkins, or the next Kyron Hinton. So I just knew on May 30th that I just had to be out there to support the victims of this racist system, and that I had to be out there to make everyone's voices heard, to make my voice heard, to make their voices heard, and to get justice, pretty much.
Oh, wonderful. I mean, that's so selfless. I mean, the truth is, the more people out there, the better for this movement. So tell me, since this is more, it is about wellness, what are some of the things that you felt? Like, have you felt anxious or felt stressed? Or tell me some of the feelings that you felt either when you're there or even when you've come home from a protest.
Definitely every day kind of is different.
Mhm.
So it starts out pretty much the same. I know what we're doing. I know why we're doing it. I'm excited even, you know. Um, but when we're there, when we're out on the streets, even if nothing happens or if things pop off, I just have to know that I have to keep my head level and to keep, my other people level so that, we can all stay safe and that we can all be emotionally good and physically good for today and the next day. But it's always a very different story afterwards. Depending on what happens during the day, you know, I'm sure you might have heard what happened last Thursday before Juneteenth about how the movement was attacked, how people were arrested, and that really hit us. People were crying, people were mad and angry. Myself, I was feeling very enraged inside, and other people were feeling nauseous, and we didn't know how to handle those things. So, but the next day after that, on Juneteenth, such a beautiful celebration of Black liberation. We were all so ecstatic and happy about that day that when we came back home, we were rejuvenated and we felt excited and we knew that this movement has just become stronger and that we're getting things done. So it really matters on what happens during the day on how we come back emotionally.
How about physically? What time do you usually get out there, and what time do you end up getting home?
We're usually out there around 5. Usually, yeah, we usually get downtown around 5, and we
PM?
usually come back depending on what we're doing that day. Sometimes we end around like 7, or a lot of times it goes like into the night around 9. Um, and pretty much physically being out there every day, especially now that it's summer, it's getting hotter, humid. Um, it takes more of a toll on the body, especially our voices. I personally lost my voice for a couple days because of all the chanting and all the screaming to get the people's names heard that cannot speak for themselves now. And like just every day being out there physically walking for hours, chanting for hours, speaking for hours, and even sometimes dancing. Like our physical bodies are slowly breaking down and they're slowly getting rebuilt by these days that we're taking off.
Mm-hmm.
So I just think that, like physically being out there every day is taking a toll on us. And it does do more harm than it does good because, we're getting our exercise. We're out there in the sun, it's all good. But I do think that we do need to take some breaks here and then, and we do need advice of people like you to teach us like what can we do so that we can stay strong.
Yeah, for sure. And honestly, I have a few friends that have been posted on Instagram, and I follow their stories every day, and I'm always praying for them and just really sending them positive messages through DM, just really encouraging them. And those are some of the things I've heard. And that is kind of what motivated me to say, I really need to do something. This is what I've trained for. I actually been an internal medicine doctor for years. I've studied lifestyle medicine. I've done functional medicine. I do a lot of wellness teaching. I work with the Raleigh Firebirds athletic teams, how to fortify their body. I'm like, this is it. This is, these young people need me. I need
Yeah.
to throw my hat in the ring, and get out there and see what I can do to help them. And so I thank you for sharing your experience, Justin. And I'm here for you all, and I will come alongside you all and support you all physically through this movement, because we all have to pitch in our expertise. Zainab is a great organizer and just a great motivator of people, and we all just lend our expertise to this movement, and it's together with all of us pitching in with our areas of expertise. That's how we're really going to get some traction on this.
Mm.
Yeah. So thank you for sharing that. I know Chrissy is there too. Chrissy.
Hey,
Hey.
let's see if I can get my, Hey, can you see me?
Are you going, Justin?
You still here?
No, I'm still here. I'm
Yeah.
just gonna
Okay.
mute the video.
Okay, no problem. Hey, Chrissy. So Chrissy is, she has a lot of friends that have been out there also. And after the protesting, they'll all kind of gather and talk. And they've really shared with her some of the mental aspects that they've really felt. And I'll let you go ahead and share with us, Chrissy.
Sure. First of all, I'd like to say thanks, Denise, thanks, Zainab, and thanks, Justin. I feel pretty honored to be a part of this call. So I've been to only one protest. I'm a person that is highly affected by the energy of crowds. So I have to be kind of strategic about how I enter a group of people because I can become very easily overwhelmed. So I've been to one protest, and it was just basically because after the first weekend of protests, I heard through so many different grapevines about what was going on and the overall energy of the protests. And you hear on the news that you know it was violent and that there was looting, which did happen. So it was the Monday after that first weekend that I decided I had to go down there to just see for myself what actually was the mass energy of the movement. Because there's so many different stories that we hear from all the different news medias and outlets. So I had to see it for myself, and it was actually beautiful. It was wonderful. It was the protest. I was like able to stay for a while because I kind of sense the energy of crowds. You know, when a lot of people get together, it almost becomes like a mass of energy that everybody shares. And it was such a beautiful energy because people were passionate, but it was not violent, and it was not in any ways destructive. It was very forceful, passionate, constructive energy that I feel has continued. I have a lot of really close friends who continue to go out every day, and they do get zapped emotionally a lot of times just from the sheer amount of effort that they put into it because they care so deeply and passionately about these issues.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one of the things that I am trying to be supportive with my friends to help them figure out how to sustain the passion that they are going to need to carry it through. But I think like what Justin was saying, how beautiful everyone has come together to organize and articulate and compose proposals of legitimate points of action that we're calling for. So it's not as though all of these efforts are scattered. They're very focused and specific in terms of what our actual agenda and goals are, which is great. And so I think that is one of the things that provides a lot of support emotionally to be able to keep up the effort that the protesters are going out there each day with that amount of passion. And I think that I was actually going to ask Denise, now that your volume seems to be a little better.
Yeah, it was Zainab. Thank you for that tip. It was the YouTube thing. I had it up on high. As soon as I turned it on, it was fixed miraculously.
Yeah, I was actually going to see if you could run through those points that you said again, because those are some things that I've been sharing with my friends.
Oh, so you all could hear all that scrambling in the back too?
It was a little scrambled from my end, but I was just going to see if you could quickly go through it just one more time.
Okay.
Because it is something that I've been sharing with people, and I find it to be really helpful, especially the prayer and the mantra, because that for me is something that I've been doing with my friends.
Mm-hmm.
And that really does seem to help, what you were saying, like rejuvenate one's spirit with that with that transcendent energy of love that exists, like underpinning the fabric of us.
Yeah, it's just so it's just love grants me the mental clarity, the physical strength, and the spiritual peace I need for this journey. And I apologize that it was just my low-tech self didn't have it right, but it's just really something beautiful, just calling on a source that's bigger than you as a human being. That's, we all kind of recognize that there's something bigger than us, and it doesn't matter what you choose to call it. That's not what we're getting into right now. We know that there's a source out there that's bigger than us that can help replenish our spirits as we go through this very, very, very important journey in our social history here in the United States.
Yeah, this is like I'll speak really quickly before I let Chrissy do her thing. But this is like a movement of like love. Because if you're out here, then you know that whatever the media is saying about like people being violent or people being destructive, it's not true. Because
Mm.
everyone out here is looking for each other's safety. We all care about each other. We all are looking out, you know, saying, "Oh, what do you need?" Like one night, someone needed an inhaler, and everybody was screaming, "Inhaler, inhaler, inhaler!" You know, and you know, if someone needs a medic, we have the medics, and everyone is there to help each other, and that's what's amazing, because we're trying to defeat racism and hate, and you cannot defeat that with just rage and anger, you know, because that'll fizzle out very quickly.
Yeah, that will sap
Love,
your energy.
but love of this movement is just gonna take us, you know, to where we need to be. But I'll let Chrissy talk.
Yeah, that was great. Thanks for adding that.
Did you have anything else to add to that? I remember some of the things that you had mentioned to me, Chrissy, about some of the symptoms that people were feeling, even people that may even have had family members that are police. They're feeling confused and like how to deal with some of that conflicting energy.
Yeah, there has been, I think, a push towards a deeper understanding of what it means to forgive, and what it means to love. It's been hard for people and, you know, close friends of mine to, it's a lot to hold all at one time, because there's legitimate injustice, and so that creates righteous anger, and it's hard to also balance righteous anger with compassion for the other. So finding the balance point so that you can move forward with pushing an agenda for more equality, more justice, and moving forward for, I think it's almost going to be a restructuring of a lot of systems in order to be more responsive to the needs of people, and then communities in you know, just like in location. So like each community has different needs, and so how do we become able to adapt quickly and meet the needs of communities as they arise? So this is kind of going to be a really big shift, mentally and structurally. And I think a lot of it is going to come from understanding that when we don't understand the other, then we can fall into traps that lead us to stereotype, to judge, and to condemn. And I think that does happen on both sides, and it's hard. It's just a hard balance to find the you know, that balance point between obviously needing to keep the passion and the righteous anger, but also how do we support our police system to, because I think it is very crucial that we have a police department. They do a lot of work that that keeps our society safe, but at the same time they don't have the proper and I'm not an expert in this, so I'm not exactly sure what it is that they're lacking, but I think that we definitely can do a much better job of helping the police understand how to help the community. And I think a lot of it starts with improving access to healthcare and to improving the health of people in general, mentally, physically, spiritually, and just start taking it a lot more seriously to support the communities instead of to judge and condemn communities, which is, I mean, why people are up in arms right now is because there's a lot of unfairness and a lot of injustice going on that needs to be addressed. And so so that we don't, it's like what Justin said, you can't, this is a movement of love. And if we are playing on a field where we give in to hate and to anger, then we're going to create similar conditions and possibly unjustly, I'm not sure what the word is, but we just want, what we want is for people to be seen as people. And
yeah, exactly. So
we just want to be seen as people.
Yeah.
And people who need help to get help, and people who need assistance to get assistance, and people who need understanding to get understanding. And that, I think, is going to be a lot of the marathon too, is reimagining and re-envisioning a new way of moving forward that doesn't look anything like what we have right now.
Yeah. And so that's just wrapping it all up, because we did want to make it just an hour, is that we're noticing with Justin, thank you for really so eloquently pointing out some of the things that people are feeling physically, how a day at the end of the day, some of the mental and physical things that you have, some of the highs and some of the lows, and Chrissy kind of reiterating some of the mental conflicts that are happening in people's head. Even if you're out there on the street protesting and giving it your all, there is still some conflict that you kind of have to resolve in your head that really can put a strain on your mind in the quiet hours when you're trying to balance these things out. It may be one thing when you're out there protesting, but then when you're at home sitting by yourself, these are the thoughts that you kind of have to wrestle with and find some balance with. And that unfortunately can affect you physically. And, you know, this is something that we're in a revolution. This is a movement. It's not a moment. It's going to last a while. When I started the conversation, I was saying how the civil rights movement, from the beginning to the end, it was over 12 years. I'm hoping this one doesn't take that long, right, Zainab? But, you know, there are sections.
I was gonna say, fingers crossed.
I know, but I mean, we've already seen some changes already, amazing, in this short time, 1 month of protesting. So I'm hoping it doesn't take that long, but it's not gonna be 2 days. It's not gonna be 3 days. It's what's May 30th, we started here. It's not even a full month yet. It's gonna be a while. And we need to make sure our bodies are fortified, our spirits are strong, our mind is fortified. We just have strength to be able to make it through this whole entire thing. And as part of that, I would like to commit my Instagram to this movement, to really committing to every day, starting the day off with something inspiring, just something inspiring to uplift all the protesters. I'd start off with that. I'd also like to add some wellness teaching every day. Right now, I already do some wellness teaching every day on my Instagram. And actually, what I plan to do to this week is really talk about anxiety. So every day I'll be giving some tips on anxiety on my stories for this week. But every single day I'll plan to do something in my stories, also sharing motivational quotes and bringing on experts that can shed some more light on different things that may come up. I'll for sure be asking people, like last week, a few of my people that follow me on Instagram, a few of them wanted to find out about women's health issues. So some of the focus last week was on women's health issues, but just really asking people as they tune into my Instagram, the subjects that they may be feeling, and really just redirecting the direction. With changing the direction of my Instagram a bit, just really to support the specific needs of protesters, to make sure that you all are able to have everything that you need for your mind, your body, and your spirit to make it through this extremely long marathon road ahead.
And I just wanted to say something real quick to touch on what Chrissy said, that, yeah, we're going to have to reimagine this whole system that we have right now, that like, and we need to focus on, instead of just criminalizing people, recognizing that, or seeing people as the other, recognizing that people have their own problems and they're like us too. And like Sahil Mojarrad, who was killed last year by RPD, he had mental issues and he had mental illness that he had to deal with. And unfortunately, as a society, we failed him, and we fail a lot of other people in that way. And I think one of our goals with with this chat we're doing right here, and with the movement in general, is to just service society on just a higher level, where we're not just taking care of like some things, but we're also paying attention to how our mental health is and how our emotions are. You know, as Dr. Cornel West said, to just to take out the anger and the rage, and to focus on the love of this movement, and to really, have society give us nourishment of the soul, as he said. But yeah.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, as you're saying about the young man's mental health issues, we know here there's a disparity in the health that people receive, that Black people, if you're a minority, the data is just out there that shows that you get less healthcare. And I'm just using that term less across the board. You name it, and what be mental health, whether it is how your physician treats you, whether it is how you're perceived, it's just less across the board. And those are things that we in healthcare just need to do better. And those are the things we're fighting for. And that's the thing that's it's going to take a while, because some of these things, I think Martin Luther King and with the civil rights movement, they really addressed a lot of the laws, and we do have some laws that we need to address here now. I think where we are in this movement is really getting to people's heart, and that's the one that is going to take a little bit more. Zainab, do you have some closing remarks for us?
I mean, everyone did such amazing things. Like everything you guys were saying, I was just like, yes, snap. Like I've just heard this from, like I've heard these conversations so much in the past like 2-3 weeks. And it's so interesting that even though like a lot of times like we're talking about the same things, that I just maybe had the same conversation with 3 other people, like you learn something else because everyone is processing and kind of really, understanding this moment in different ways, because we're all coming from like, various experiences. Like, just like, even I know for me, like just as a Muslim woman, I'm like, yesterday I posted about the Confederate statues coming down. And then from that, there was a lot of hate on like, which side of the history did your ancestors fight on, like for the Civil War? Like, you should be happy that we graciously accepted you into this country, and like because of that I don't really have a voice in the the white supremacist system, and that something is like you know, not the emotional impact of like just receiving hate, that impact of like, okay, like I don't have an ancestry in this country, and I can't go back to this last civil rights movement and look at how I can find different examples that might look like me more, or first generation, second generation, American, immigrant, etc. So like being able to process all of that has been so tough, because that conversation is not just like with people who share the same faith with me, but like share, you know, people who don't share the same faith, or people who are from different backgrounds and different states, etc. So like it's been so interesting to hear that throughout, regardless of like which space I'm in. And I think everyone's doing the best they can. And like, I mean, everyone said it, like it's a marathon, not a sprint. And like that the system wasn't built overnight. It's not going to come down overnight. And, you know, if you've been organizing, you know, being an activist for a while, you know that this is just a long-term process. And I am starting to see, especially like as I've gotten older, like the extreme importance of wellness, and something that I didn't take as seriously in my younger ages when I was organizing. So I'm like, and I'm continuously amazed. I'm working with a lot of Gen Zers, and I'm like constantly impressed and amazed at the generation after millennials. Like I know a lot of people,
I don't know,
like
trying to
people
make
with
a Z.
millennials, yeah, like people don't give millennials credit enough, but like I see Gen Z, I'm like, yes, like I love the passion, and like the we're done with this, and like we're gonna call out the BS, and like we're not taking this anymore. Like we need that, and it's empowering other generations to get back into that mode. So Justin, I just really want to say thank you to you and everyone fighting on the ground.
Did you have a just for the last part, I do want to give you all my YouTube, Instagram, so that everybody can know where to find it if they need, when they need to. Let's see, where am I? Yeah, there it is. That's not the right one. Let me see. There it is. So everyone, if you are here listening to this call, please just go ahead and you could join my Instagram. That's not the right word, is it? I'm showing my age. Follow my Instagram. If you could encourage 3 people to follow my Instagram too. And you can also go through and find a post that you like and share it and ask people to follow me on Instagram, because starting this week, I will be tailoring all my materials specifically for the protesters. And I'll stop that screen share. Everybody can see it there. It'll also be in the bottom of the video here on YouTube too. You'll find my Instagram channel, the name of it. And you'll find me, Dr.D-Nice Beaujolin.
Yeah, I found yours. I just followed you.
Oh, thank you, Justin. Yeah, and share. That's going to be the most important part, because, you know, based on the information that you've given me, and based on the information that Christy said, and as people join too, I will be asking them, what are some of the physical needs that you have? What are some of the things that you would really like for me to talk about that I can really share my expertise with you? And just make sure that you're sharing it with people, because I really want to make sure to have this be beneficial to you all, Justin, you and your friends. I want to make sure that everything I put out there is specifically for you all, to specifically support you and your body and your mind and your spirit, to make sure that you all have everything you need to do this, to make this happen for us. I mean, I really appreciate all that you're doing. And, you know, it's just the nature of adulthood. You may not be able to be out there. I mean, I don't want to say protesting is for the young. Not really. We all protest in our own way, but some of the—
Definitely saw some old people out here.
Huh?
We definitely seen some old people out here.
Yeah. But I said, okay, I'm gonna go out there one day, but I'm gonna need to like soak in a bathtub for like 3 days to get over it. And I might need a vacation. But you know, you all are young, and this is something that your bodies are built for. This is the perfect time to just lend yourself to the movement. I mean, I'll be out there when I can, of course. And at the same time, I want to make sure that I am supporting this movement in the way that I will be the most effective. I don't know, that's it. I really just appreciate everything that you're doing, Justin. I appreciate everything that you're doing. Zainab, Chrissy, you know that it's all love between us. This is great. I'm excited for where we are in Earth history. This is exciting. I can feel it.
Yeah.
I feel it. It's gonna happen. Share my Instagram. I'm gonna make sure that every single thing I put up there is for protesters. Justin, if there's anything that you specifically need for your body and your mind, you let me know. Send me a DM. I will research it if I don't know about it and post something about it instantly almost.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Anybody have any last minute anything? Zainab?
Thank you for putting this together.
Yeah, well, thank you for
Thank you
sponsoring
for all
it.
the work we're gonna see.
Thank you so much for sponsoring it and lending me your platform. Well, through YAP, Young Americans Protest. Thank you all so much for supporting during this time, and you all have a wonderful evening. Thank
You
you
too.
again. All right, bye guys.
You too.
Bye bye.
Bye.